Hello, my name's Trisha, and I have a book I want to show you guys and read some of it for you. And it's called Psychic Self-Defense and Well-Being. And I'm going to post this to my Facebook page that's called Paranormal, Spiritual, and Mystical Experiences, and also to my YouTube channel called Exploring the Paranormal with Trisha Brown, and my name is spelled TRICIABROWN. And also I'm going to post this to the community page for Jerry Wise's program. Because, in Jerry Wise's program, we are learning about being differentiated and learning how to have good boundaries and kind of to be aware of how certain people with their certain personality traits that are considered narcissistic type or toxic or manipulative or controlling or maybe have some mental illness or whatever their thing, there are different ways to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe and having peace in your life. And so I really like learning and studying and gathering knowledge from different books and different people and putting it all together. And then that way maybe you need it said a certain way that makes sense to you. And different people can say something in their own way that helps add to your understanding, and then the having epiphanies and awarenesses and helping you along the way. And so just now I decided to open up my book, and it's probably backwards, but this is the book. Trying to get it in there. Psychic Self-Defense and Well-Being. And the author is by Melita, Melita Denning. That's interesting because my biological family, their last name is Denning, Denning, and then also Osborne Phillips, the two people who wrote this book. And the full title of the book is called the Llewylln Practical Guide to Psychic Self-Defense and Well-Being, second enlarged edition. And this book came out in 1985. And so as I was reading this part in the book, which goes till the end of this chapter, I was like, wow, this could be helpful information for many people. And I'm going to put it also in the community page. And so here it is. I'm just going to read it. Okay. So I'm starting on page 20, and it's in the middle of the chapter, but if there's something that you don't understand and you want me to give more information, feel free to ask, please. Okay. An understanding of psychic self-defense is often needed too within the framework of family relationships. This is not necessarily a question of such blatant cases as battered wives or henpecked husbands, but of a very general and rather subtle misuse of the concepts of love and harmony. The overprotected person, whether spouse, child, even when adult, or often parent or other senior relative, may be unable to make a stand against some perhaps heartbreaking frustration, either because they are simply denied privacy and opportunity, or because they are made to feel it would hurt, and I say that in quotes, hurt or annoy, in quotes, others. Paradoxically, instances occur when other members of a family plays this kind of power game on varying terms with the rest. One great tournament of emotional poker, often unconscious, in which even the winners will lose stakes of more value to them than anything they are likely to gain. If only one person in such a situation regains his or her psychic integrity, a A way may be found to release all the players, making family life what it should be, a way to each member's self-fulfillment and to help in attainment of personal goals. Quite apart from any possible domestic stresses, however, the housewife in a special way needs a knowledge of psychic self-defense. And everything that I'm going to say is obviously they're talking about for the housewife, but everything that I'm going to say is for everybody. Everybody can gain from this knowledge, what I'm going to say here. She may not at first see why. Her relationship with her husband, relatives, children, children's teachers may be everything she could wish. Quite likely, she has never concerned herself with occult matters, and the idea that anyone might want to attack her psychic integrity is absurd. What motive could anyone have? A very plain one. Usually, apart from big occasional purchases, she is her family's chief buyer. Unique, though, she as a person to the marketers of foods, clothing, cleaning materials, and household wares, she is as one herring in a shoal is to the fisherman, but not by any means an object of personal malice, but fair game as she lets herself be caught. Now, again, all these examples are, I feel like that you can use these examples for just, random people that you meet in your life. Yes, it could be any sort of business, of course, but this is just for the person out there in the world who's trying to manipulate you or control or coerce or all those fun things that these toxic and narcissistic people do. They lack empathy. They're in it for themselves. They're going to put on a good game for you. So, okay, just wanted to say all that. All right. Does she behave like the herring or like the intelligent person she really is? Only she can know. If she frequently comes home from the supermarket with items she didn't mean to buy, that is a danger sign. If she or her family really have no use for those items, that's an even bigger danger sign. If she dreads agents and salespeople calling, not just because they could be intruders in disguise, but because she knows she could be pressured into buying something unwanted, or even just because she will let them waste some of her precious time, that's another danger sign. Okay, turning the page. If she can't pinpoint any of these things, but somehow never quite knows where the housekeeping money goes, danger again. Many of the pitfalls which beset her when she goes to buy the groceries will beset both her and her husband in a rather different guise when they go to buy a house or a car, to rent accommodations for a vacation. Such pitfalls are simply psychic or psychological, if you prefer. That is, they involve instinctual and emotional reactions of which people may be only partially or not at all aware. And when they do become aware, they may not know how to act. This is therefore something else we must consider in this book. The truth is that our material civilization, while in many ways it has increased our need for psychic protection, has also done much to deprive us of those means of self-defense which should be naturally and rightfully ours. The pressures upon us have increased to an almost unbelievable extent. Of course, it concerns us to know what is going on in the Middle East, in the Far East, in Argentina or Ceylon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry if I say that wrong. And Russia. It may concern us to know what happens on the stock markets of some other countries. A relatively short time back, as human evolution goes, we physically could not have known all these things, even where our present subjects of concern then existed. Now we can not only hear the news items, we can see them in our own home, and often within an hour or so of their happening. Elections, fires, cataclysms, legal processes, revolutions, everything. Of course, all this helps to make us citizens of the world. It develops our understanding of affairs. There is no need to regret it. It does, however, greatly increase the range of material which comes into the life experience of each man and each woman. It can, in some ways, greatly increase our anxieties, our emotional involvement, and since the events are not really, and this really is in capital letters, happening in our living room, and we can do nothing whatsoever about them, it must often increase the level of our daily feelings of stress, tension, and frustration. For this reason, many aware and sensitive people deliberately ration themselves to one, and that's in capital letters, news broadcast in every 24 hours. I hardly ever watch the news or listen to the news. Mostly I will hear something from someone will tell me, and then if I feel like it's important to me in some way, I will listen. But I really keep myself out of all that because this is exactly true. I mean, I can't do anything about it. I can send well wishes over there. Okay. And you, obviously, if you want to donate and get involved, you can, but I think this says what the intention of what this means. Then there are the people you meet who ask you to their church or their club. If you really want to go, that's fine. You may, however, feel you don't want to go and yet don't like to refuse. They are nice, friendly people and so insistent in capital, and that is in a exclamation point. Do you refuse and feel guilty and ashamed and avoid them ever after? Or do you go and feel guilty and ashamed because it isn't you? And that's in quotes. Either way, you may feel you have lost a bit of yourself, a bit of your control over your own life. So again, these teachings you can use this in any topic like that is helpful to you in your life. Do you sometimes suspect that if your own defenses were what they should be, other people would not be able to make you do things you don't want? Turning the page. A person of any type can have first-rate psychic defenses. The effect varies with personality and circumstances. Everyone knows the rugged extrovert who is never pushed around, and that is in quotes, is never pushed around. You may have heard of or even meet with people of a different sort, frequently quiet and reserved, who can, for instance, order rats or mice out of their dwelling and be obeyed. I'm really good at wrangling the flies out of the house and the cockroaches. Not that I have a lot of cockroaches in my house, but I'm just saying, if there is one, I'm like, get out. And the flies, I can get them to leave too. Again, not that I have a lot of flies, but if one gets in, one is enough. Get out. Again, you encounter people who are always relaxed, easy in manner, natural, and that's kind of in italics, the word natural, in any situation. What strikes you about all these people is that they are, in capital letters, so natural. It's the people with poor defenses who are awkward, uncertain what to do, and unsure of themselves, and that's in quotes. In this book, the basic principles and most important methods of psychic self-defense are explained so you, in capital letters, can master them and adapt them to your own needs. Some of the examples we have mentioned may have struck you as being particularly related to your experience, or you may wish to develop all your natural inner powers as far as you can, which is your inner senses, which we all have them. And you realize psychic self-defense is an essential part of that program. Or you may feel simply that you are more vulnerable than you should be, frequently imposed on, jangled with Russian noise, missing a skin, that's in quotes, and or just plain unlucky. In any of these cases, there is real help for you here. Not only are these principles and techniques of psychic self-defense of high value individually, beyond that, the cumulative strengthening of the psyche will help you build true self-knowledge, confidence, and character. And in capital letters, it says, that is the great defense. So I wanted to share this with you all, and I hope this helps. And if you have any questions or want to know more, definitely reach out and ask. Okay, have a great day. Bye.